Hey everybody, this is Jason Ostrowski and welcome to another edition of the Everything Real Estate Podcast. It's hard to believe that we have surpassed 1 year since we began with the COVID pandemic and being, locked away indoors, and the anxiety and the stress that everybody has felt through this time period of our lives. And maybe there are some of us out there that wouldn't have been able to make it through this pandemic without the generosity and the caring of others. And whether it's something like COVID or something completely different like financial hardship or those less privileged or food insecurity, there are always people that are working tirelessly behind the scenes to make the world a better place, to contribute and to help those that are in need. And one of those unsung heroes, in my opinion, is my guest today. Her name is Kassie Erb. She is the president of Fox Roach, Trident Charities. Many of you may know Kassie. She's awesome and she's super fun to talk to. She is my guest today for the interview, and I wanted to highlight and spotlight the work that she does and her team does behind the scenes to make this world a better place for everybody, especially with the backdrop of the 1 year anniversary of the COVID pandemic. So let's get into it with Kassie, talk a little bit about what your contributions means to Fox and Roach, Trident Charities, and the communities it serves, and we'll talk on the other side. Kassie, I will say it's been a long time. It's so nice to see your face on the other end, and thank you for coming on today.
Jason, the feelings are mutual, so thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I wanted to spotlight our charities division because you guys do so much good. And I think that it's time that we highlight and spotlight on the podcast exactly what you do. Because, you work tirelessly to help families, agents, communities, you name it. I know how hard you work at this, and I truly appreciate that. And with the way that things have gone, we're at our 1 year out. Right off the bat is how has the past year gone for Fox Roach Trident Charities? I mean, how has that been, and how has it been different for you? And how has it not been different, I guess? Let's start with that.
Well, I'm grateful of our voluntary givers, which is our sales associates, our employees, the company, and our supporting communities for everything they've done to step up during, this pandemic. Aside from myself working from home now, nothing has really changed other than how great the need is. I mean, the need now is greater than ever, and our nonprofit partners are working effortlessly and tirelessly to serve the need of the population, which before was bad to begin with, but now it's so much greater because you're seeing people that didn't have the need for school supplies, food insecurity, homes, and other, basic necessities really needing it more now, and the population needs it more now.
Yeah, I mean, can you speak specifically to, say, there's somebody within the company that has been affected by COVID and it's affected them, not only health-wise, but financially, and hardships with families and, all of the corresponding things that go along with, potentially getting this disease and how to handle and manage it. If they turn to you, what is it specifically that Fox Roach Trident Charities can do for someone in that regard?
Yeah, so when this first happened last March, a ton of nonprofit partners reached out to myself and were saying they were seeing anywhere from a 50 to 200% uptick in food insecurity. Not to mention the issues that go along with not having the proper, PPE equipment, trying to get people that are underinsured or uninsured into a hospital setting that was in need. So the Board of Trustees and myself came together. We really tried to hit it hard right up front, which is rare for us because we generally have 2 board meetings a year in May and December, and that's when our funding goes out, the majority of our funding. So in late March, early April, we really decided to put $46,000 out 25,000 of which went directly to local food insecurity. So food banks, food partners across all of our regions. We selected one from all 3 states, and each region was able to be provided for. And then we also gave a $21,000 out to 3 inner city hospital foundations that were serving PPE equipment to underinsured and uninsured individuals in need of COVID. And on top of that, these hospital foundations weren't just serving those with this virus. They were also finding that they had to feed those because of this virus. So like food insecurity has been huge during this. And if you don't have food, the other basic necessities start to drop as well. So you see, people in need of clothing, people in need of whatever school supplies that they needed for virtual Chromebooks to learn from home. So it's been something that both Fox Roach Trident Charities and our board of trustees really hit hard. And then we continue to, address towards the end of the year people that were having mental health issues. And I know that both professionally and personally, it's very hard for people to understand this. It's very hard for people to be secluded and out of their everyday routines. So we've kind of across the boards stepped up in every area that we could, but in the very beginning, it was mainly PPE, underinsured, uninsured, and food insecurity.
And I'm sure so much of this has been uncharted territory, but totally. or turbocharging what was already out there. You talk about food insecurity, some of these other things, but things like PPE and what goes along with COVID, or what was happening at the beginning of COVID, especially. I'm sure it was a new and stressful challenge for what you do day in and day out. Not to mention the fact that you and I were talking about how, you're working from home, you have your family at home now, and every day is like, it's like a sprint. You get up, you get on that roller coaster, and you go through day by day. It's a challenge for you too. Nothing is normal for anybody. So I wanted, and you're kind of already speaking about this, but I think one of the things that, as agents, we know Fox and Roach Trident Charities as, we make a small deduction from most of us from our commissions, and it goes to our charities division. That is far-reaching and probably covers a wide range of areas, right? But where would you say, we make a contribution and that money is accrued and accumulated? Where do you find that money going to? Like, how does that money usually get spent?
So the beauty and really the unique part of Fox and Roach Trident Charities is our voluntary donors. So I know people try to give me the credit in doing what I do for the company and the community, but it really is a true team effort. And 100% of our leadership team contributes to charities. And over 60% of our sales associates and employees contribute to our charities. And you're right, a donation via commission, payroll, one-time annual gets matched by the company at either 25 or 50%. And then the larger portion of that goes into each individual office or department fund. And we have 75 plus offices, as you know. And then they get to recommend to the board where the funding goes. So that's really the ticket to Fox and Roach Trident Charities. The people that are putting in the money have a say in where the funding goes, as long as it, meets our guidelines, criteria, and eligibility. And it is a nonprofit indeed. So it's really the team of all of our contributors that I respect and truly thank.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. The fact that it is a group effort, you feel involved in it, and I think it's important for people to feel involved in it, and know that your dollars are going to something good. You know what I mean? Having said that, are there any new initiatives or opportunities that Fox and Roach Trident Charities are looking to, explore? I'm sure you guys are expanding your initiatives as the years go by. So is there anything new that you guys are working on?
Well, we were working on a 25th anniversary event, as last year was our 25th anniversary. But that has been put on hold. We try to every anniversary year do some sort of big idea, large impact across the tri-state, and we were unable to do that to the level that we wish we could have last year. But we will definitely get to it. So no, I'm not going to lie. But we do have, our office is always bringing in new nonprofits that we learn about. And every time someone that I'm unaware of comes onto the playing field of Fox Roach Trident Charities, I try to reach out to them directly, personally, make it a point to know who they are, what they do, how they need help. I've heard from multiple of our partners who will come to me and be like, most of the grant people that we reach out to, we don't ever get to talk to. Sometimes we don't even get a you weren't funded letter. We just are left in limbo. And these nonprofits really like having a person and a face behind it that will reach out to them and just say, listen, let's connect and let's see how we can, work together. So I've really enjoyed meeting our local partners. And to be honest, that's the hardest part about working from home. I'm not in the community. I'm not seeing the people that are the true heroes behind who we support. I know people like hearing what Fox Roach Trident Charities does, but the nonprofit that we support are the heroes in our communities. They are educating children. They are making leaders. They are giving people homes, food, cooking for those that are in need, elderly care, people of all abilities have access to what they need. I mean, the beauty of Fox Roach Trident Charities is our mission is very easy to hit. So we can give to so many different avenues. And I really enjoyed that piece of it.
And I've been with you, and you've introduced, several nonprofits and people that are behind the scenes and kind of what they do. And it is so true. These people are like the unsung heroes. Hearing their stories. I mean, first of all, it's heart-wrenching because a lot of them have personal stories of their own and why a foundation may have been started, or there's a reason to why they do what they do. It's amazing if everybody could hear their stories. It is like you said, it's a testament to them that work so hard to give recognition and also help those in need. It is pretty amazing.
Not only do they work hard, but they wear multiple hats. And they do what's needed for their clientele. So the fact that they can on a daily basis do so much on so little is pretty outstanding. And man, I miss it.
Well, one thing is, speaking of missing things, one thing that, obviously because of COVID it was a challenge and may be a challenge. I guess we don't know at this point, but was Community Service Day. Mm-hmm. Do you anticipate that this year coming up, we're going to be trying to do it in the field again? I mean, how do you feel about everything? You feeling good about that at this point?
Yeah, last year for our 25th anniversary Community Service Day, I really wanted to make it a point that we could serve anyone and everyone at a level that our internal population was comfortable at. So, we made some adjustments. I made it an entire month, which in all honesty, I loved. Seeing multiple days, multiple weeks throughout that entire month of people doing, whatever they were comfortable with. And some of that was making masks at home and sending me pictures. Some of that was making a meal and dropping it off to their local police station or fire station or hospital, or even office support. Some of those people went in and made masks for our grocery store workers, which, I still get goosebumps over. Those type of just spreading love and kindness is just as easy as an individual as it is a team. And last year proved that. Community Service Day did not miss a beat. Those that were comfortable going out to volunteer followed the very strict guidelines that our nonprofit partners put out there. And trust me, they're not going to bring anyone in to do anything in person without a ton of research and, criteria, because ultimately my problem with doing anything live last year and possibly this year was I don't want to put the clients at risk. Mm-hmm. I don't want for our purposes to go in and put the nonprofit and the nonprofit people that they serve at risk. So we went to over 100 organizations, virtually, live, individuals, held drives within our offices and then had them pick it up outside. Community Service Day, without a doubt, is probably one of the largest successes that we had in COVID times.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. It's almost like been community service year, because I know there are people out there that consistently contribute, to charities through you or through other, opportunities. And I think that's the best part of what we've seen through COVID is just the humanity that people have, especially when it comes to meals or, some of the other services like we've talked about. It's just been incredible to see. So much bad, but yet so much good. It's almost like the silver lining in everything that has happened and transpired over the past year. You see the good and the bad, but you want to highlight the good too, Yeah.
Highlighting the good is so true right now. I mean, literally, I didn't even have to tell people or recommend or assist internally with people that wanted to step up and just do their own thing, which prior to COVID, we have a ton of our offices and departments that step up throughout the year and do their own thing. They'll include me, I'll spotlight them, I'll do what I need done. But we really do have a family of Fox Roach, Trident, sales associates and employees that just are good, decent humans that want to help make things better. And that comes in large and small sizes. So there is no small give. There is no way not to be kind. Opening a door for, someone or buying the person at, your local Starbucks a coffee goes a really long way.
I think that's a great point that you make, because I think a lot of people think like, well, if I'm going to do something, it has to be some major contribution, right? And like you said, it's just the small things, you don't have to do anything large. Just making the world a better place for you and your fellow human being, right, is really what's at the core of everything. And I think this time in our lives, obviously everybody's going to remember this past year. And hopefully, we'll remember it in what the opportunities were to make everything better for everybody, that our collective humanness, is kind of what we need to focus on. So, I want to shift gears a little bit, because the other big thing in the company that as you know, I'm starting to laugh because you know how I was with this, but the backpack challenge was, I feel like every year you expand your goals, number one, but you reach your goals too. Like, is the challenge of the backpack challenge itself becoming like almost like not too big, but is it a challenge every year to expand those goals and to meet those goals? Because I feel like more and more offices are getting super competitive with it, and we just see those numbers continue to kind of rise and shoot up. So how's it going with the backpack challenge at this point?
I mean, 2020, if there was ever a goal to not meet, that would have probably been it, but we did it. We gave over $116,000 to Cradles to Crayons to give out ready for learning. We used to call it the backpack challenge prior to pandemic. COVID times, we changed the wording with Cradles to Crayons, and it's now ready for learning, the wording. And we, again, broke all records that I could have possibly put in place. And in all honesty, I'm not a record person. I am someone that wants the greater good for everyone. But our offices and departments, you guys you're vicious. Go to win. I've never seen competitiveness like I do with the backpack challenge or ready for learning. which is actually frightening because the best piece of it is when managers and or my charity reps and will come in and try to learn where the people that are always ahead of them are, and I'm like, guys, solid effort, but no.
Well, you know how competitive we were for people who don't know, I used to manage the Jenkintown office. You know how competitive we were. And then I know other offices kind of got into the mix, but it was crazy every year. It was crazy. And, but it was always in good fun, right? It was always to obviously first and foremost contribute. But we wanted to be out there representing, we wanted to, obviously help out as much as we possibly could. And for those of you who have not gone to the Backpackathon at the link, that in itself is a really, really cool experience that I think everybody should have the opportunity to go down there and volunteer. And, there's music blaring, there's people laughing and high five. I mean, the whole day is just awesome. And then you get your picture taken on the field or off of the field, but field in the background. And it's just a really unique experience,
And by whole day, you mean 600 volunteers stuffing 30,000 backpacks in an hour and a half and having the distribution center right outside of the link with all the recipient organizations coming up. Man, if I was to hold an event, Cradles to Crayons does that effortlessly. I mean, it is 2 hours of just perfection.
It's a machine. It really is.
Backpacks have their recipients lining up outside, and they call it, the recipients are coming to pick up their backpacks. You are shoving bags of 50 each filled backpacks into like Priuses. These people don't have, vans and trucks. They have the car they drove to work in, and they come and shove it full of backpacks for their kids that are in dire need of these supplies. So the Backpack Challenge and our company speaks testaments of who we are and what we do, because $116,000 in a month-long span of donations of $20 or more is just, mind-blowing. It's priceless. I can't speak to our company with any more higher regard.
And one more thing I'll say about it, just so, the new agents who have joined our company know, the Backpack Challenge, can you explain exactly what those backpacks do and where they go?
Yes. So the way the Backpack Challenge works is for $20, you can purchase through Cradles to Crayons, and we have an online platform, or myself, you can send it to, and I'll get it to Cradles to Crayons, a filled backpack. So for $20, you will receive, the child will receive a filled backpack and supplies for the entire school year. So we'll kick this off in the end of July of 2021. Although many of our competitive offices started a little bit earlier, and you'll receive information from me earlier. But for as little as $20, you can give a child in need of back to school or ready for learning supplies and a backpack. And supplies for that entire year. And then Cradles to Crayons has over 150 recipient organizations, social service organizations, charities. I mean, many of the people that come to pick up those backpacks, we also support financially and through volunteer efforts. And they will then distribute it to their clients. So it's really, a win-win, and they do it across all 3 states. So Delaware is reached, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, the Lehigh Valley. I drive backpacks up so they can distribute them. And, most recently, Ocean and Monmouth counties. I drove our Fox and Roach Trident van last year, which, was an effort in and of itself, because I'm not good at large utility vans, all the way up to Ocean and Monmouth County to drop off filled backpacks for them to hand out. So again, this could not be successful without our sales associates, employees, their clients, their friends, their family, their, hairdresser, their mechanic. I mean, we reach out to everyone that we know to try to make these children have something that they wouldn't otherwise have. And, a story that I tell all the time when I speak in meetings is, Cradles to Crayons once was approached by one of their service agencies. And the agency said, I need 2 backpacks and supplies. And they said they were approached by a family because the family had 3 kids. And the school realized only 1 kid a week was coming. So 3 school-aged kids, but only 1 a week would come, and then they'd alternate, and then they'd alternate. And then the school finally reached out to the caregiver, and the caregiver said, oh, it's because we only have enough supplies for 1 child to go to school. So if you think about it, school isn't only giving our kids an education, it's also sometimes the only place they're getting warm meals. It's also sometimes the only place that they're receiving the basic necessities that they have. So to do something like this opens up other avenues for the people that we really support.
Yeah, it's really an amazing thing that you do and keep outdoing yourself every year. I think, if you were ever to start a backpack challenge Hall of Fame, I think you would have people climbing over each other to get to be inducted. It becomes just a matter of personal pride every year to support it. And it's just awesome to see it just continue to get bigger and bigger. All right. So last question I have for you. So, I know you've been really under the gun here. So, you do so much for the community. You put yourself out there constantly every single day, your effort, you do so much for us. What do you want to see us do for you? I mean, what more would you like to see from the agents themselves? I mean, is there anything out there in particular that we can do to support you more?
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard everyone that donates to Fox Roach Trident Charities is very giving both internally and to their own personal endeavors, which I am completely aware of. I do want to mention that my ultimate goal is to have everyone internally contribute at whatever level they are comfortable with. That could be as much as $1 a year, $1 a commission, $1 a paycheck. And the reason I say that is because the more people that give, the more money the company contributes back to the charities, and the more money we can give out. 100% of every dollar that is donated is again matched by the company at either 25% or 50%. And then that entire portion goes out to the community. There are no administrative costs with Fox Roach Trident Charities. Every dollar coming in, we put out each and every year. So the more people that give, the more people that get that 50% match, the more money that comes in, the more money we can give out, and the more people we can ultimately help. Like you said earlier, when you get to see who we help, when you're there and it's, the nonprofits are showing you who they serve, what they do, and how they do it. One, I've never had a dry eye coming out of one of the charities I met. It's probably one of my biggest downfalls. I tear up very easily. But they are really the ones that are doing this. So I would urge anyone that wants to be involved, get involved. And if you don't want to give to the company foundation, Fox Roach Trident Charities, give to whatever makes you feel good, because the need is in every community. I don't care where you live, what township, county you're in, there is need right next door to some of us. And you might not know it, but the need is greater than ever. And right now is the time to, again, spread the kindness and the love and, create decent humans. And these are our future leaders, some of them. So let's give them an opportunity like everyone else.
Yeah, I just want to say, personally, thank you for all you do, everybody that you work with to make this, this world a better place, quite honestly. in our communities out there that, the people that are struggling, I know you try and reach every day. And I think all of us are truly appreciative of Fox and Roach, Trident Charities, and what you guys do. And that's why I wanted to spotlight that today. I wanted to have you on and get the message out there to everybody. Kassie, I hope to see you soon. It's been way too long since I've seen you, and maybe it will be at a backpack-a-thon with me, drenched in sweat, packing backpacks away into a plastic bag somewhere soon. So listen, again, thank you. And I hope to talk to you one day soon.
Thank you, Jason. It's a pleasure.
That was the interview with Kassie Erb this week. I thank Kassie for her time, and I really appreciate her kind of going over what exactly Fox and Roach and Trident Charities is doing to serve the community, to kind of help us understand more of what they do and exactly where our dollars go when we contribute to Fox and Roach and Trident Charities. And I think it's ultimately, the takeaway for me today is that it's really important to contribute. It doesn't matter how much you contribute. It doesn't matter that you have to be this, fantastic hero in the community. It's about doing the little things that serves the neighborhood that you live in, the area that you live in, and a little goes a long way. And collectively, we make a big difference. And if you're not yet contributing and you want to do so, here's how you can do it. Number one, if you're not contributing to Fox and Roach and Trident Charities through an auto deduction out of your commission check, you can set that up easy enough. Maybe instead you want to contribute your time and come to Community Service Day and maybe bring a few colleagues with you. That's another way that you can contribute. Or you can collect and contribute backpacks to Cradles to Crayons and the Ready for Learning campaign. That's a really popular thing within the company, and a lot of us get really into it. And last but not least, maybe go to the Backpack-a-thon. Help them pack those backpacks and get them ready for distribution. Well, that's our podcast this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in another couple weeks with a new topic, a new guest. And don't forget, if you like what you hear, make sure to give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, stay safe out there, stay selling, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Everything Real Estate Podcast.